I needed another project, but when it's pretty much given to you for free, you just kind of go with it, I guess. So this machine is a 2001 Polaris Scrambler 500. So it's kind of like the quad, but the cool thing is you can put it in four-wheel drive. The only other reason that well, actually the two biggest reasons that I even said, okay, well, I'll take it is, first reason being, back in the day, which I'll try to add some pictures here as I'm talking about this four-wheeler, I had a 98 or 99 purple Polaris Scrambler 500. Same exact machine, but it had purple plastics from the factory. And that was hands down the funnest and best quad four-wheeler, whatever you want to call these, I ever owned. And I had that for a while. I bought my wife a Polaris Sportsman 500, high output at the time. And we rode those around a couple of years, had a lot of fun with them. But, we decided we wanted to get a side-by-side. So we ended up trading both of the purple Polaris 500 and Polaris Sportsman 500. We used those as part trade-in and stuff on a brand new side-by-side back in 2017. Was the first side-by-side I ever bought. So I hate to say it, but that was probably one of the worst of the vehicle swap transaction trade-ins I've done, because I only got $200 trade-in on that 500 Scrambler, which it was like mint condition. And I really should have just kept it, because like I said, I've ridden a lot of four-wheelers, I've ridden a lot of two-wheel drive quads, and I'll have to say, for up here in the trails we go on, this is the most practical quad style four-wheeler you're going to be able to have. I mean, my opinion is super comfortable bike or quad. Really cool that you can put it in four-wheel drive if you want to, if you get into some hairy stuff. And I will have to say it's pretty fast. I remember that purple one I had. I don't know how fast it would go, but it would get up there faster than you should be driving it, type of thing. So, but I have not even looked at this other than it got dumped off in front of my shop at like 10 o'clock last night, and we grabbed the forklift, unloaded it out of the rig. You can see a strap still stuck on there because it was all actually frozen, and shoved it in the shop bay last night, and then I've managed to push it over here. Obviously this quad's got some issues. The second reason that I got this is because before I even said, yeah, sure, why don't you drop it off and I'll play with it and see what we can do, is I looked up to make sure parts were available for this, and they weren't super expensive, because I got enough projects going on. Yes, parts are super available for this thing, and they are actually super dirt cheap. In fact, if I can, which I don't know that I will be able to, if I can find purple plastics, I will put this back purple, because that's how much I liked my purple one. But so yeah, I'm just going to kind of take a rough look at it. Those are just tools from messing with the motors. And the other reason that I'm even messing with this is because the Gremlin, the AMX, and of course the Javelin, they all need a bunch of parts to move on. And I'm waiting for parts on the AMX, and I'm waiting for internal parts, oil pump, timing chain, stuff like that for the Gremlin engine. And I also took a flake of paint off the Gremlin, because our auto parts store can mix paint, match paint, and put them in like these aerosol or compressed air can type of things. So I don't know how long that's going to take them, but they're going to do their best to try to match the paint, because we want to clean and repaint the engine compartment in the Gremlin before we shove the motor back in. So that's the other reason I'm even messing with this, just waiting on a whole bunch of parts. And then of course the Junkyard Javelin, we're still looking for parts for it to continue on with it. So this will be a fun little project. I don't know how far we'll get today. I think the biggest thing we're going to do is look it over and see everything that's missing on it. The guy that he got it from or whatever. This thing's been traded and moved around a whole bunch of times, from what I understand. The guy I got it from said that it needs a new carburetor. He tried to rebuild it. He doesn't know what he did wrong, but it won't quit leaking. Previous guy before that had it apart for some other reason. So, I don't know. They say it runs. It's got some, I don't know, probably Chinese-made aftermarket exhaust on it, which definitely don't look like it fits right. I mean, that could be part of the right. Oh yeah, looks like it's all been welded together. So, I know a little bit about these Polarises because I've had to mess with them before in their carburetors. If you put a different exhaust on them, then you got to rejet them because they are not going to run right. So, maybe that's part of the problem. It looks like it's missing all the fender flare, the moldings or the flaps, whatever you want to call these, the mud guards. Looks like it's missing all of those. Oh, it's got a toolbox on it. Doubt there's any tools in it, but we can. Hopefully there's nothing in here we don't want to see. Who knows? I'll have to get a screwdriver to dig the rest of that out. Let's see here in the back. It's missing dust covers and the lug nuts are on backwards. That's interesting. What is that for? Probably the tail light, I guess is what that's for. Chain's pretty worn out. Some plastic stuff going on here. What is that? A Yamaha. I guess it's not a Chinese muffler, but it's probably not going to run right with that on there. Or maybe it does, I don't know. Who knows if this thing even runs. Let's see, this wheel's on right. It's got the lug nuts on the right way, but it's missing the dust cap. So let's see, that looks like that's broken. Well, it's got compression, that's for sure. It's hard to say what's all missing in there. Oh, it's missing the extensions from the fender to the panel. Got the drive shaft cover. That feels pretty good still. The rubber thing for the shifter. That moves okay. We'll have a dust cap. Got some Mickey Mouse broken winch on it. That's going to probably go in the garbage can. I'm not a fan of winches. It's just got the bar still. I think on the purple one I think it actually had an extra set of bars that went across the headlights. But I don't know that for sure. I'll have to actually look. It may not have. It might have been a Yamaha Wolverine or a Big Bear four-wheeler we had similar setup or something. But anyways, I don't remember. And now the old screwdriver key. Looks like it's missing all the light covers. Probably choke, I don't know what that would have been. Four-wheel drive. Oh yeah, carburetor's not on. Yeah, at least the seat's there. Well, this ain't attached. Oh boy, looks like a rat nest of crap. Let's see if there's any antifreeze in it. Oh, there's antifreeze in it. It's probably hard to see out here, but it's actually green. Well, that's good, I guess. I don't see any oil deposits on the radiator cap. Let's see, somebody drilled a giant hole in there for something. Imagine that. Let's see if there's any oil in it. Some sort of reflector. Shut that up in there. Or is that hooked onto the petcock? But I guess it doesn't really matter. So it's low on the, I guess I could have just looked in that for the antifreeze. Looks like it's pretty low. What we got? We got some oil in here. What kind of oil do we have? We got, if I can hold this. Ooh, it stinks like gas. It probably definitely did have a carburetor problem. It's not sparkly, I guess. As far as we can tell, it looks pretty gassed down. It looks pretty watery, so could probably be some truth to that carburetor. Well, I know the carburetor's not on there. Supposedly it's all in that bag. Guess we should look in the bag and see what's all in there. Let's see, missing bolt out of the hoopty. That's all loose. Oh, it does have a battery. Let's see, I don't know what this thing's for. Looks like it's been melted pretty severely. Brake shield cover. That brake shield cover's definitely got some shielding. Oh yeah, I remember these carburetors. Oh look, some duct tape. Diaphragm's probably screwed up. Let's see, if I remember correctly, that's a gas tank bracket. That was always a pain to get off. Oh look, there's some bolts for the clutch cover. The other gas tank bracket. Looks like there's some miscellaneous bolts in there. You know, I wonder. I didn't look that hard. Put that all down. That. Whatever that is. Some sort of bracket. I don't know what that goes to, and some plastic. Oh. Definitely weren't lying when they said nothing was attached. Come on. Now you want to come off of there. Well, the seat's in pretty good shape. Well, got a crack in it, but well, looks like it's missing the air box. if that's been melted or melted by the exhaust. How the heck would it have gotten up by the exhaust? Alright, well anyways, I guess I'll get all these plastics off since they're just kind of sitting on there, and maybe go through it and get an actual list. And what the heck is that? What is that? Huh, never seen that before. What is that? Throttle cable. Get a list of what's actually missing on this thing. And then, well, maybe we'll throw a compressor tester in it and see what kind of compression it's got or something. I do have a battery laying over there. I guess we could just hook up some wires and see what works and doesn't work on it. But anyways, I'll get some stuff torn off. No rear brakes, man. You're not going to be able to stop. Feels like the front brakes still work. Alright, anyways, I'm going to get some of this crap torn off of here. Make a quick list of what I can see real quick that's missing on it. Do a little research, make sure we can get those parts before I get too far into this thing, because I can tell you this much right now, if it gets to where it's costing me more than $500 to mess with this, then it's probably just going to get parted out. But hopefully we don't. And that will definitely go even quicker if I can't get purple plastics, which I need to look those up too. But I'll bring you guys back here in a few minutes when I get something figured out. Alright, well I got the plastics and stuff off. Definitely weren't bolted on. I also cut out some of this crappy wiring that was hanging out everywhere and got that winch pulled off of there. If anybody wants that winch, let me know. You pay shipping, you can have it. Might have something good on it. I don't know, but I'm not messing with it. Turns out that little switch and all those fuzzy wires hanging out are more or less for the heaters on the hand grips there. So definitely not going to be using those. But anyways, so got that wiring cleaned up, so it looks a heck of a lot better in here. That's all the ground wires for those hand grips, which they could have been factory, but I don't know, I kind of doubt that. And then I did some research on what the heck is that? Looks like this ignition box is probably not any good. I think that's the ignition box, but I'm not sure. Anyways, I looked up the parts, and they're definitely available and definitely can be found. But I can't find any purple fenders. I can find one crappy set for like $300, but it's just the front, and it's like all warped and stuff, so don't look like I'll be getting the plastic purple fenders that I want, but that's okay. So with that winch on there, I'm guessing this had a plow on it. I'm sure it did, but yeah, that was really fun to get off there. Carriage bolts, and the bolts are all bent and everything, so finally got it off there. So that I'll have to find a new one of these plastic skid plates. I'm not even sure what you would call that. And I gotta cut all that crap off of here because I'm not keeping that on there either. But I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, that's the CDI. Maybe it's the voltage regulator? Maybe that's the CDI. I don't know, but pretty sure there shouldn't be a hole in it with some metal hanging out. Huh. Well, anyways, I'll have to look that up. I bet that's a voltage regulator. That's probably the CDI there. I can't remember. I know on that Sportsman 500 we had a bunch of problems with it running right, and it actually turned out to be the carburetor is what was wrong with it. But I put a new CDI. I mean, we took the head apart. We thought maybe it had low compression. We rebuilt. We actually took it to Polaris, believe it or not. They rebuilt the carburetor, and it still didn't run right. And then we finally actually ordered I hate to say it, a crappy Chinese carburetor, and it ran perfect. So, don't know. It's had something to do with the carburetor on it, but anyways, I put my little battery charger there on it, and jammed this in there and got it into, I guess just on. But neutral light comes on. Headlights come on. Let's see. High and low, so those all work. I'm assuming the rear one works. I don't know what that humming noise is that's coming out of this. Well, anyways, I doubt you can hear that on camera. But, so yeah, I mean, you can get most everything for it. I think the next thing I'll do is see if it'll actually turn over with the starter, which is going to be a little difficult with that, but we'll see. Oh, and I grabbed the rest of the crud out of that toolbox. It was just, I don't know, a chunk of wood and some tire plugs. That's all that was in there. But, yeah, they definitely invented an exhaust pipe here, muffler for this for sure. Oh, get an air box. The air box is actually really cheap. I was pretty surprised on how cheap air boxes are for this thing. So, found fender splash guards is what they're actually called. I can get the rears and fronts for like 40 bucks. I haven't found any that actually go around the rest of the fender yet. I'll have to keep looking for those. They might be called something else. Rear shock is probably, I'm going to say is probably not any good anymore. So probably have to get a rear shock for it. But that's all saying that it'll actually start and run. So with that being said, I am going to poke around a little bit more on this thing and try to get a compressor tester hooked up to it. I guess I better disconnect whatever that thing is. I'm actually going to look that up, figure out what that is, make sure I don't need it to try to start this thing, and we'll go from there. Alright, well I can't get the starter to turn with the key. I'm sure it's all messed up anyways, but I can always do this. So we know the starter works. And yes, it sounds like it has no compression because it won't actually turn over if the plug's in it. And that's because I don't have a battery and it's like a little 10 amp thing. But I pulled the plug out and yeah, I definitely had some carburetor problems, running a little too rich. So yeah, we're going to stick a compression tester inside the cylinder there, and we'll probably just have to yank it over. I doubt the starter battery's going to have enough power to actually turn it over to do anything. But I guess that's good signs that it's doing all that. Still haven't figured out what's going on here. Why would you stick, looks like a piece of inner tube underneath all that? But oh, I unhooked that voltage regulator, so I'm not entirely sure that that's factory. It actually looks like it's just in there with self-tapping screws, because that's also a voltage regulator, I found out. So I don't know if that was an add-on. I have no idea. So if anybody's watching this actually knows what's going on that I clearly don't know, let me know. Like I said, sadly my purple Scrambler 500, I never had to work on it. I only had to work on a Sportsman 500. I don't remember if they're exactly, I don't know if they're exactly the same or not, but that's been 6 years, 7 years ago, last time I ever fooled around with that thing. But, oh, and I found an exhaust system, so I can at least get rid of that. So that's the nice thing, I found pretty much everything for this machine, so we're doing pretty good on that. But let me get a compression tester set up, and we'll see how much compression it doesn't have. Alright, well, I assure you I have not even pulled on it or done anything. Let's see if the starter will crank over. I doubt it. Nope, not going to do it. And that little bit of turning over it did, it only put out 20 pounds of compression. Let's reset that. Well, that's not real good. I don't know if it'll run with 50 pounds of 50 pounds of compression. Well, it's not like the carburetor's closed, it ain't got one on it. Okay. Well, let me throw a little bit of oil in the cylinder and see what happens. I mean, by the smell that's coming out of it, it smells pretty varnished, so who knows when the last time this thing was messed with. But I'll drizzle a little oil down the cylinder and we'll give it another pull and see what happens. Well, when I said a little bit of oil, I mean, I meant, let's dump half a quart in there. I guess that wasn't a very good, smart choice on my end there. I don't know if I'll be able to do this with one hand. We'll give it a try. Alright, I'll bring you back in a second. Alright, well anyways, I got that screwed in there. Let's get rid of our 55, 60 PSI there. Set you there. We'll see if I just crank it over. Oh, it's climbing up there. It's got 90. Sure feels a heck of a lot more than 90 PSI. Whew. Yeah, I gotta get that starter working. That's too much for me anymore. I don't pull start or kickstart motorcycles anymore, or four-wheelers. I'm lazy. All this new stuff is all electric start, so I don't even know what compression this should actually have, but if it quit running, I don't even know if I'd be able to pull start it. That's all for 90 psi. That's a lot of force to turn that over. So, all right. Well, we know it could start on 90. I guess let's see if we can make a mess. And I didn't get that much oil down in there. I just spilt most of it on the engine because That's how the engine needed to have some oil grime on it anyways. Ooh. I don't know where the spark plug went. Oh, there it is, it's on the floor. I don't know if that'll even spark. Ooh, I wonder how much crap I don't want to spit out anything. Good. Let's see here. That might do the trick. Well, like I said, that there's a good chance that plug ain't any good. So let me clean that off and try it again. Well, I saved you the boredom of it. It definitely doesn't have any kind of spark. I tried actually another spark plug too and pulled on it and messed with it and blah blah blah, but it doesn't have any spark. I kind of looked over some of this wiring on it. I mean, I don't know, maybe that thing has to be hooked up. Maybe the CDI box is bad. It's hard to say. But anyways, I mean, there's a good chance that it'll come back to life. So I'll probably end this video here on it. And I can at least get a battery for it. That's something I can just go get. If Polaris is open today, I'm pretty sure I can go get the whole key assembly from Polaris from $30 or something. They're not that expensive, I don't think. I'm pretty sure I had to go get a key assembly for one time, and it wasn't too expensive, but I can also get them off of eBay for $10-20. But definitely need to do something, because every time you try to turn it over to start, it makes some sparking noises inside there. So something going on with the key switch, and yeah, I think I'll go through that carburetor, probably throw it into Chem Dip and let it soak and sit for a while and see if I need to get a rebuild kit for it or what's broken on it, and try to get that too. So just like every other project I have in this shop, this one needs parts before we can even try to start it. And I'm going to do a little investigating and digging and see what I can find on the no spark situation, and if there's something I come up with here before I edit this video and put it on YouTube, I will bring it back to the camera so you can see, but chances are it's going to need a part. So till the next video, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Alright, we're back for a minute. As I told you, if I figured out the spark. So I immediately called my buddy who works on these four-wheelers and motorcycles all day. That's all he does. And I told him, hey, I got this 500 and it has no spark and blah, 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 blah. And he told me, yeah, it's probably none of that. You're talking about your CDI. He goes, look on your CDI box, and he says there's a couple black wires, or maybe just one black wire. And sure enough, there's a black wire somebody's recrimpulated that's covered in mud. And he told me that that's a kill switch. And he was telling me he thinks it's probably for the oil on this, but you know, whatever. He told me disconnect that and see if you get spark. And we got sparkulator now, so that was a close call, because I didn't want to have to start ordering a bunch of crap, and then it was none of that, and it's just a single wire, as it usually always becomes. So I will have to figure out what that actually is for, and I don't know, maybe because it's just so corroded and gross in there. Don't know, but he wasn't sure on this either. I asked him if they're supposed to have 2 regulators, and he didn't have a Scrambler 500 to look at, but and he didn't have actually any Polaris 500 right this minute in the shop to look at, but he says he doesn't think they're supposed to have two, but who knows? So probably should do what he told me to do and just get a manual on it, and that'll tell me everything I probably need to know. So, alright, well, now this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and then we'll see you in the next one.